7:01 this evening. I call the regular session of the Air Shirley Regional School Committee meeting to order. Tonight is February 12th, 2019. No, today's February 13th, 2019. On that note, I do appreciate everyone's flexibility and working around the snow and what was supposed to be a basketball award tonight, so I appreciate everyone sort of working it so that we didn't have to be out in the snow last night. With that being said, those attending tonight's meeting should be aware that the meeting is being audio and video recorded by APAC and ASRSD. Any audience members who wish to record any part of the meeting must inform the chair, who will announce the recording. This is to comply with the MA wiretap statute. The listings of matters are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may be brought up for the discussion to the extent permitted by law. Thank you, and as a mouthful. Pledge of Allegiance, please. Flag is moving on this. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. All right. As of this moment, no. So roll call, Mr. Gleason, Ms. Reschutz.
Here.
Ms. Granger.
Here.
Ms. Simmons.
Here.
Mr. Quinty. Here. I am Mr. DeForge here. Is there any public participation this evening?
Come
Mr.
on.
Dentino, you're alone tonight.
Mr. Dentino.
All right. Ms. Shandy, you have a report from us. It's been a while since we've seen you, so it must be lots of good things to report here.
So, it's funny because I don't have much to report. We just had midterms, so that was pretty stressful for everybody, but we're glad it's over. Student council held a pancake breakfast this past weekend, and that was pretty cool. The profit from that goes to scholarships for the students at the end of the year. We also just switched over to new Canada Walks. Everyone really is enjoying those, so I guess I'll talk about Canada Walks. So Canada Walks are kind of like, it's a mix of whether you want free time or it's a mix of whether you want like a study hall. So last semester, my Canada Walk was like half free time, half study hall, because I used one of them to plan for college, and then one of them was just like a study hall where I could just, it was just like a free time where I could just like chill for the rest of the day for like 30 minutes. But this semester, I'm doing AP Bio help study hall and then a study hall. So like, just because I need help in those classes, and I'm taking the exam in May, so that was kind of nice for me. But I have friends who are taking like knitting and crochet and like calligraphy, so it's like free time for them. So it's kind of nice, and it's just like a time to like de-stress and like have 30 minutes out of your day where it's not like purely academic. And then we just had 8th grade orientation. So the 8th graders came, and I thought it was pretty successful. So one thing was, we had a panel of students go up, and they had they had questions for us, and we had to answer it. But we didn't really give them a chance to ask any questions during that time. So that was just like one thing that I was like, well, maybe like we can get to the future. But other than that,
Okay. Questions?
So how many 8th graders do we have? You know, just roughly. That's rough.
I know, 128.
128?
Yeah.
Out of 128?
No, I don't have
That's okay.
You think you're old enough for high school? When you looked at them today, were you like, what the heck?
It was funny. It was like, oh, that's what I was.
That's right.
Do you think they enjoyed the tour? No, a lot of them did. They said they liked it. And we got to have lunch with them this time, which was nice because we hadn't done that in the past. So that was like cool.
How did that work out? Assign people tables and just trying to mix it up?
No, so it was like pretty arranged. So like they sat at tables in different groups, and then like students would go over and talk. So I talked to like a couple, like I talked to some girls and guys, like the soccer team like kind of sat together. They were like soccer, and then a lot of the football players came down and like talked to a couple
So I think the ambassador, they all had shirts, all those high school
Oh,
students
yeah.
gave the tours. Said ambassador on the back, right? That was, and those are nice. And then, so then they went around to the tables. Yeah.
Can't forget the strawberry shortcake.
That's a selling point.
Fastest way to get nice stuff.
And I just wanted to say, so students are enjoying the Panther block and the offerings and.
So, yeah, for the most part, I guess one thing about it is you're not always, sometimes you're not always going to get the kind of block you want, which is like, that's like, just in general, like that happens everywhere. It's just like, they were better about it this semester. I know the first semester, they said seniors would get priority, but we didn't end up getting priority, so then that didn't go over well. But then this year, they just split it up with upperclassmen and lowerclassmen, and then it was kind of like a race. So then like, they said, we had like a meeting, and then 10 minutes later, they sent us an email, and you just had to like quickly sign up for your class and then say, okay, well. But then it was like on us instead.
So do you put down like first, second, and third choice?
So the first time, yes, but then that's when it became a problem. So the second time when they sent us the link, it was like once the class goes up, the class disappears. So then you could,
Oh, that's a better way to do it.
Okay, that's a better way to do it.
Yeah, well, you know, it was new.
so the second time, definitely better.
So how would you improve it now? What do you think they could do?
So I guess for me personally,
Can I just make a comment while you think? Maybe it'll trigger you. But one of the things that I'm hearing too from parents is that parents don't have a lot of input. So kids can pick, calligraphy when the parent really wants them to take like AP boot camp or something like that. Which I think it just depends on what the design of the program is. Is the design extra help period, or is it designed to be it's a time for students to kind of have a break? Like I'm sure kids wouldn't want their parents saying, "No, you should be taking this," but the parents, of course.
They are in high school.
Yeah, but some of them do need extra help, and that's a good opportunity for it.
that's the thing with that. So like my first semester, I didn't. So like I had like my college prep, and then I had my free time one. Maybe I think it was track and talk, and it's just when you go outside and like walk around and talk with your friends. So it was nice for me. So like I've knocked all my college stuff out of the way like right away. So like I'm not worried about it right now. Whereas like I have friends who are stressing about it right now, especially because like now like once we're into like the school year, you don't really have much time. So like they're doing it during Panther Block, but you kind of need more than that 30 minutes. But it's like it was better to do at the beginning of the year than now when you're like right in, especially like with my friends who are taking AP classes. It's coming up really soon. So everyone's like stressing out. So it comes in with the independence piece. So
Yeah. No, it's a great opportunity for that.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. They might. I mean, if you brought it up, like they might. Like,
Well, I'm not looking to change it. I mean, I just would love to hear your perspective. I'm sure no student would want their parents to. No, honey, you should be taking a track and talk. You should be.
I'm not lying. Because next semester I plan on taking easy ones, and if my mom decided that I was going to take hard ones,
I think the whole concept is unique.
Yeah.
And it really gives students an opportunity to make choices for themselves, be decision makers, explore areas of their development that they may not otherwise have had an opportunity to. And then you're a senior, so now you've decided that I need to take that AP course, and that's your choice, and it feels good, right, to make those decisions. So I think it's important that, and I think maybe it might connect kids to high school too, if they've done a really good block that they're like. Would you agree?
yeah, I would just. It kind of the only the only sad thing about it is like my other 3 years of high school I had like mixed lunch, so that would be my time to like socialize with like upper class and lower class and like from different grades. But like now I know, so I don't really know a lot of underclassmen, which is kind of sad because I know my freshman year like
I had a lot of upperclassmen friends who like took me under their wing, and like we would hang out, and then it like gave me insight as to what to expect for the next years of my life and like what classes I wanted to take. But like now that lunch is separated, I see the same people I see in my classes. And then like if a like an underclassman, like I would only see them like if we did the same club. Like if we were both in student council and then we got taught, then it would be different because then I could be like, oh, here's advice about this. But at lunch, like where it's the time to socialize, like you don't really get to socialize with everybody. It's kind of just like your set group, but you see them throughout the day. You see them because you've been grown up with them all your life. So then that was kind of like a thing I would go back to mixed lunch. Because that gave you time. Because underclassmen will ask and they'll be like, oh, well, like, we don't see you. And it's like, yeah, because we don't have time.
I think that's under consideration. I think they've gotten that feedback next year. So
That's great.
That's good.
That's excellent feedback. Thank you so much.
And college prep is going well. Have you decided where you're going yet?
I got my acceptance in July.
Congratulations to where?
So Northeastern Boston College University.
Congratulations.
Are you leaning one way?
So I was leaving Boston College, but my mom really likes Northeastern, but my dad really loves UMass Amherst. I don't know. Yeah, we're all going to different directions.
Can't make a bad
Let's go to
choice.
college though.
Yeah.
That's cute. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Congratulations again. Best of luck. We'll see you next month.
But you still have some acceptances coming in April? All our guys are complaining that.
Yeah, I have a regular decision to like 2 schools. But those are like,
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Right. Right along, we have our consent agenda tonight. Our consent agenda includes the following: regular session minutes from January 29th, executive session minutes from January 29th, regular session minutes from February 4th, regular session minutes from February 5th, executive session minutes from February 5th, approval of the warrants, which include payroll and AP warrants. And then we have 3 very generous donations, $499 from Mr. and Mrs. Gleason to be used towards the music department at the high school, $1,000 from ALO Seamless Gutters to the high school drama program, and $500 from Penard's to the drama program. So again, thank you to our very generous benefactors, and we appreciate your continued support of all these programs. Just as a quick aside, there was also some generous, I noticed on the placemat the other day for the for the breakfast they did, there were some companies that had stepped up, so good for them, so I thank you for that. So anyways, so consent agenda, I'll take a motion if people want to approve it, or...
If I could, Mr. DeForest, could we hold out the minutes of February 4th and the minutes of February 5th and approve the rest of them? Is there a way to do that?
I think at that point we need to just go through line by line in order to do that. So we can...
I guess on the titling of the 4th and the 5th, instead of regular session minutes, it would have been a joint meetings with one from the Board of Selectmen and the Finance Committee there, and one from the Board of Selectmen and the Finance Committee of Shirley, which kind of designates those. It's not really regular sessions, and one of them we didn't have a quorum, so, and there was no voting done in any of them, but just to separate those out, they're kind of a different, and I don't know what's legal there, I really don't, but instead of the minutes of the Air Shirley Regional School Committee, it could be the minutes of the joint meeting of Air Shirley School Committee, Board of Selectmen Shirley, Board of Finance Committee Shirley, just to clarify it. I don't know if I need to pull that out to do that. I really don't want to take up the time to go through all of them.
If you'd like, we can pull those ones out and ask for Attorney Bresnahan to weigh in how we title those and how we deal with them.
Mask would know how to do it, so we can call the attorney for that.
Mr. Schwartz, I think in other minutes, you might be able to just retitle them to delineate it, like,
Okay.
because when you've made suggestions for revisions or amendments to other minutes, you've made them.
Right. Yeah, I don't think that. I think we just make the changes and put it back.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I think it's important because then that tells you who was there right at the top. And it designates, it's not just one of our regular business meetings. So,
You want to just do that as a friendly moment amendment, they can update that and we can pass it on.
okay.
Right.
So So I make a motion, should I just make a motion and include that? I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda retitling the minutes of February 4th and the minutes of February 5th to reflect that it was joint meetings of the towns, and the town boards. That do it?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion on our consent agenda this evening? There being none, all those in favor with the corrections as noted by Ms. Richards, say aye. Aye. Opposed? None. That passes. Thank you, Michelle, for making those corrections. And thank you again to our benefactors who donated so nicely to our programs. Okay, Dr. Mullen, you are up with the proposed 2019-2020 school year calendar.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You have two versions, only to show you that if you go to the December calendar in Revision 1, it's particularly long Christmas break. So the 20th, typically the district or the school committee has always provided a 90-minute release the day before the Christmas break. Excuse me. And so then when Monday would be off, and we would return on January 2nd, 2020. And then the second version would have us returning on January 6th, excuse me, 2020. Which if you go down to the end date of June 2020 in both calendars, version 1, the 181st day would be on June 12th on a Friday, and then version 2 was taking a 2 full week vacation. The last day would be June 16th. So as we know, the weather is quite unpredictable, and you get any snow days and you start getting into late June. So my recommendation is to go with version 1, to have the early release on June 20th. Has always been kind of like a benefit to the teachers, I think rated by the school committee, and all paras, and to return on January 2nd, 2020. And I did do a quick survey of surrounding districts to discern what they're doing, and 12 districts responded to the survey. 10 are going back on January 2nd, and 2 are taking the full 2 weeks. So I didn't know, I didn't put a vote on this tonight. If the committee was ready to vote and approve it, you could, but if you wanted to wait and look it over and then approve next meeting, that's fine as well.
Lisa, you have a question?
I just had a question on that. I think the half-day release was when we ended up like on the 23rd, being so close to Christmas, we did like a half-day. I don't think we had that as a standard. Just before vacation, we did a half-day. I think it was put in there at various times because it was so close to Christmas.
You're talking about the 90-minute?
I'm talking about the 20th of December.
Yeah, that's a 90-minute early release, right. Since I've been here, that's up to the committee.
I mean, it's almost necessary if you're getting out on the 23rd because everybody's crazy. But if it's the 20th and you've got the weekend after that, it seems like that maybe a good thing. The kids are only going to go home and play video games.
No, whatever is the will of the committee.
It's just a question. I don't think it's anything that we had statutorily with them.
No, I think my understanding was this was something that given to the membership before I came. So I've always just carried it over.
Remember, they have seen it so clearly before.
Maybe not, because, right, because the 23rd is Monday, technically you could say we would come to school, but we're not going to, so, so whatever is the will of the committee.
Is there a benefit to going back, not going back on a Thursday and Friday when it comes to heating the building and?
No, because the custodians are here working anyhow, the buildings are all heated, yeah. I mean, 2 weeks is even this last break, it is a long break.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of the people that we have in this community don't go off for ski vacations. They're not going to be looking for the extra time. They're just going to be home with kids, which is great. I love to be home with my kids, but
it'll be the converse the following year because it'll be the Monday and Tuesday.
yeah, a different
Is
story.
2020 a leap year? Is that the running out?
Yeah.
Any even further wrinkles into it?
Then we do those things at the beginning of the year, but we only have 2 days, and then we have a week, 2 days off, so.
The only thing I would add is, so we have the same model for PD, 2 days in August. the 26th and 27th, and we have kind of separated out our return dates for kindergarten and preschool. We're going to conduct preschool screenings on the 28th and the 29th. Kindergarten will have one day of screening on the 28th, and then kindergarten orientation will be on the 29th. And then all students will return on September 3rd. And September 3rd and 4th will be, September 3rd will be another screening day for preschool. They'll have their orientation on the 4th, and then the students will attend on the 5th. Next is my superintendent's comments, and so one of the things we're doing is we're creating an early childhood center at Page Hilltop, and moving the 2 preschool classrooms from Laura White over to Page Hilltop. For various reasons, it's something that has been discussed for quite a while in the district since I've been here. So right now at Page Hilltop, we only have 1 teacher, so she pretty much teaches in isolation. 2 teachers at Laura White, and we want to bring the 3 teachers together, number 1. Over here at the Page Hilltop, they have the Parent Engagement Center that is very good for parents, and also the EAR Child Care. Because preschool is only a half day, parents usually need child care after or before those sessions. And the other big piece is starting an early childhood education program at the high school, which will start for juniors next year. And I think you saw the program of study. So next year as a junior, they'll take psychology semester 1, and then they'll take early childhood education semester 2. And then senior year, they'll do the 2 practicums. So they'll walk across and they'll go to preschool, which will be really helpful to the teachers. So the students that elect that program will graduate with 10 credits that are transferable in any Massachusetts college or university. If they elect to go to Mount Wachusett to complete the early childhood program, they'll have, I think it's 14. And it's interesting, as I think I told the committee the last time, Mrs. Phillip Brown's English class here, they partnered with grade 1, and those kids are really interested, and a few of those kids were going on early childhood education. We also have a student this semester who has created her own independent study because she wants to enter early childhood education, is now going across the way. She works in a preschool, so she's going to kindergarten and first grade classrooms. And the preschool classrooms over at the Page Hilltop, all 3 of them have restroom facilities. For the little preschoolers usually have that in the classroom. So
That's going to be my question on the spaces on the bathrooms in
yes,
preschool.
yeah.
So,
And then the students will go back to Laura White, they'll go back to kindergarten at Laura White, yeah.
yeah, so what's our number of students per classroom in the preschool classroom?
The number is about 15, because we have integrated classrooms, so you have a number of special ed students, a ratio, and the maximum would be 15. You usually have 1 more typical.
So we have a teacher and then basically a special education.
We have a paraprofessional. And depending on the needs of the students, you may have more than 1, right?
So is 15 considered, yeah, I keep up on some of the other numbers, probably preschool, is that considered like a good place to be?
It's actually set by the state.
The state?
Yeah.
Is that the maximum then,
Yeah,
15?
yes. You can ask for a waiver, and in some instances you can do 20, but yeah. And so I think it's a really good model. I think it's another addition to this district to attract students to the high school for another opportunity to concentrate in a pathway, accrue college credits, and be able to go to college if that's your interest, and save some money and some courses. So it's a laboratory been sitting here underutilized for years, right? So teachers are excited about it.
After school, the kids who need after school, I know we have one in Shirley and we have one over here, we have 2 after school
Right.
programs, right?
So the
Is
extent,
one of them more crowded than the other? And is there any reason for balancing the?
no, there was a conversation with, well, typically the one at Laura White is before and after school care, not during the day, but with the preschool program, you have a half-day session, there's the other half of the day.
Right.
That parents need that child care. So of course we consulted with the director of the EAR Child Care prior to the final decision to ensure that she would be able to take new students in for childcare. That's
Right, that's where you're gonna
have, yeah.
So if you end up with any problems with that, numbers of kids who want to sign up, et cetera, is there a way to take it back if you need to for space, for location, for logistics?
You went back to Laura White?
Yeah, we have more kids than we
Yeah,
can accommodate, we
you
want
could, but
to expand that, so.
So we have, remember in the budget, I have a halftime position, a preschool teacher, because we have 2.5 sessions, right? We have, two teachers, excuse me, we have 4.5. So 2 teachers, AM and PM, and then we have 1 teacher who only does a half day in the morning. But we see that program growing, where we may even have to add that teacher this year to get, because of some of the early intervention students that are registering, we have to have a place for those students. So we do see our preschool program going, and the more that we strengthen it and create a center, we're going to get a big sign, early childhood center, those things, it's very attractive to parents.
It'll be interesting to see what the sign-up is through the summer and stuff.
Yeah. We've held the preschool informational sessions. Mrs. Hamel and Mrs. Bozak led those with principals, and parents were very receptive, and teachers, we haven't had any concern.
In preschool, we don't bus preschool.
No, parents were, yeah. Yeah, so the program's gonna be Monday through Friday. Right now, it's Monday through Thursday. So it's gonna be Monday through Friday, excuse me, it's Tuesday through Friday now. They have Mondays off to do their planning. And it'll be 2 sessions in the morning, 2.5-hour sessions. So in between the session, the teachers will have their lunch and preparation period, where right now, the teachers only have like 30 minutes between the 2 sessions. And so we'll actually gain 30 minutes for students that are attending preschool. We all know the importance of early childhood education. There is a memo that's in your packet that you can read. I won't read to you, giving you more detail, but there is some research that is cited about high-quality early childhood programs. And so we want to attract those kids in preschool and have them stay with us through grade 12.
I'll bring up my annual comment, and I'm fully versed in the response with the parents. Parental review for the preschool to 5 parent conferences. Everyone hates December. I understand the timing with the...
Oh, the trimester?
Yeah, I understand that, and I give that to them, and I let them know the teachers are available to meet at any point there's a problem, and if there was a real problem, they would already contact you, but over and over again, as I talk to the parents, are like, December is off the chain.
Too late?
Everything is happening in December. There's so much stuff scheduled, and it's kind of late, and that even if they don't have assessments and the rest of that, if there was a way to move this into earlier in November or something, that would be much more amenable to them. I hear it on a regular basis.
I've heard the same feedback. And one thing I was going to say is if it does stay the way it is if we could reiterate with parents that, the structure is set up because it's a trimester, that's why the conferences are at that point, but that parents are always, invited to contact teachers to set something up earlier or like Jim said, move it earlier, because I've heard the same, Jesus, December now, and we're just sitting down with the teacher for the
It feels
first
too
time.
late.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll bring that feedback back.
Right.
And we're not going to bring it, I think the next meeting is, I'm getting confused with meetings, March 5th or 3rd or something, so we have time. Obviously everyone's going on vacation, so we'll take it up after the break.
So just if I can ask one question, September 19th is a 90-minute early release?
Yes, I was just going to bring that up. So one of the things we're trying, so we have curriculum meetings on the 3rd Thursday of the month, and so the start of the school year is the most important time for teachers to get to know the data, know their students, do their planning. So we thought we'd add one 90-minute release for professional development. So that they'll have that 90-minute release, and then it'll go right into the curriculum meeting time that teachers are meeting. So that will actually be, depending on some of the meeting times that we're trying to change, so it'll be a good couple of hours of meeting for teachers. Beginning of the school year, it's really important. So they're developing their SMART goals, and they're looking at the state assessment that's been published, and they're looking at other data, benchmark data, and so on and so forth. So I hope that time will be used to.
The only other reflection on Rev 2 is that if my kids have 2 weeks off in the winter, they're not even going to remember what school they go to. I'm just saying.
I agree,
It's
it's
not
a long
helpful.
time.
That won't help.
Right.
Okay, so I guess as a committee, are we saying that we would like to continue with revision 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll look into the trimester conferences, timing those.
And I just wanted to make a comment to Joyce's point about the 90-minute early release. I kind of feel like if it's something we've been doing all along with our teachers, I don't see 90 minutes as being a huge,
On the Friday before.
yeah, I don't see it as being, and plus the kids know they're going on vacation, it's the
Yeah.
Friday before, I don't
It's a
really,
gift to everybody.
So they make
I don't
noise.
I don't see it as a big issue.
There we go.
All right, so thank you, I'll bring that back, I'll get some feedback on the trimester and move forward.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you, and you can just continue right along with.
Sure, and I'm going
If you don't
to
mind.
kind of surmise, some of this is older from our last meeting, but we did have a professional development day in January, and we had numerous workshops, and we got some good feedback. The Panther block has already been discussed by our student rep. Benchmark assessment, talking about data, we do benchmark assessments in January in reading and mathematics and writing. And access testing, that is the test that is provided to our English learners, and we finished that in January. The early childhood program is the top of page 2, which I've already discussed with you. Do you have any other questions on that? The
Thank you
middle,
If I'm sorry, just thank you for, pushing it together and sort of optimizing our services.
yeah,
Like we've done with other programs, some of the SPED programs especially.
it's good to see a vision come to reality, right, to be implemented. Just the middle school, the NAEP assessment, that National Assessment of Educational Progress, they were selected, so they had to implement the assessment there in grade 8. The F2B Innovation Zone, we had Avery Griffin in Mrs. Harris's preschool class at LAW. She placed 3rd in the challenge, which was to engage in the F2B app 15 minutes on 6 days during the holiday break. And she received an Amazon Kindle HD Fire Kids edition. And then there were to be 100 certificates awarded to students in the Innovation Zone, and 23 of those recipients were from my district who met the challenge. Yeah.
There's an awesome app that
You like it too?
I
Yeah.
do. Yeah, Jonah likes it. We've had Finley on it a few times too.
Yeah.
I don't know if she knows what she's doing, but she clicks it, she's happy.
The 8th grade visited the high school yesterday, as was reported to you tonight. The parents were hosted here. This, I have to wordsmith a little bit, because when I wrote this last time, we had this information about Mrs. Capasso, and recently in Mrs. Whitmire, so I was wordsmithing in, and then I went to another meeting. So, on Wednesday, April 10th, Mrs. Capasso and Mrs. Whitmire will be awarded the Partners in Excellence Teaching Award for their exemplary work with their advanced placement students. They received the award because the improvement from 2017 to 2018 was significant. And there are 29 Massachusetts AP teachers are honored, and 2 of them are from our high school, Mrs. Whitmire and Mrs. Capasso. So Mr. Christie and myself have been invited. They're having a dinner and a formal ceremony at Holy Cross on that night, so we'll be going there. Yes. 34th Annual Honors Band Clinic. Congratulations to Carolyn Cooper, Chris Govang, Roz Lupasek, Olivia Ostreicher, Darren Quinty, and Kano Smith for being chosen to participate and perform in the 34th Annual Honors Band Clinic this past weekend, hosted by UMass Amherst. How was it?
How was it,
They had, there were 300 students that formed 3 different bands, and they had a composer from New Jersey that wrote pieces for it.
Wow.
And they had, the musicians came from every state in New England and New York, selected for this, and so they got there at 8 o'clock in the morning and learned their pieces throughout the day, and then presented the concert at night in the Fine Arts Center. So it was good.
Apologize for that technical there. We get this information, and a lot of times we copy and paste, Darren. You didn't see?
I saw it.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
I saw it as a reading it.
It's not Will Schultz.
Yeah, we know. All right. Sorry about that. Below the art project, this is the rendition that's going to be at Jarvis Ford of the kids. Remember we talked about the high school project, the art project? This is the rendition, yeah. I had to stop there this morning on the way in, so I asked them to show me where exactly they were painting this mural, and it's on the inside wall. I was imagining it, because a lot of car dealerships paint things on their big glass.
Oh,
You know, the windows, yeah, and so, but no, it's on a wall.
This
and
will be
then-
a permanent addition in there.
Yes,
Take up-
exactly.
It's gonna take up almost that whole wall in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, it's huge wall
In the
there.
showroom?
Yes, yeah,
Like the back wall that faces the, if you go to the door, it goes to the service area.
Right.
But that back wall is gonna be all, so the offices all on the right, and then there's a wall, it'll be right, when you walk in, you look
So
straight
it's
at it.
prominent.
Oh, yes, it'll take up the whole wall.
really
They were
nice.
very excited about it. I happened to stop in there a couple weeks ago, and they were very excited about it.
Very excited about it, yes.
So the kids gonna paint it, not just
Yeah,
design it?
yeah,
but
they
actually
designed it.
This has been a
So you see-
2-year thing.
Yeah.
I seem to recall them coming to us in Shirley one year and talking about what they're headed to do. So it's been a collaboration with, I think like 2 or 3 different options that the Ford dealership had to pick from. And this is the one they chose.
Services in a number of different towns, and they actually do a fair contribution in all the towns.
And then the new college acceptances are in red. Binghamton University, Northeastern University, and Stonehenge. St. Michael's got a nice list here. And then this was a music band update by Mr. Ketterer. Olivia Ostreicher, sophomore at the high school, qualified and was accepted to the MMEA All States for voice. There are 2 new Panther blocks being offered this term, the Glee Club and creating an alma mater song for the high school, which is really cool. The Glee Club, where we have reached students outside of choir and band that want to learn to sing and create music. Many of these students are expressing an interest now and wanting to join chorus next year. The other Panther block that has been started is one where students and I are creating an alma mater song for our school. I think that's really cool. Students who have taken music theory 1 and higher were asked to join and apply their knowledge to a real world composition. We have collected various songs from many prestigious and well-known universities and have started to analyze them to find common traits, key harmonic, melodic structure, lyrics, as well as overall tone. We will soon start the creating process utilizing consistent elements that all school songs have within their structure. And so he goes on about the detail and how they can compose that. So we'll look forward to that. And then he talked about the 6 students that were nominated and accepted into the UMass Honors Band, and they have the opportunity to learn and perform collegiate music, level music with students from various schools in Mass, Connecticut, New York, and New Hampshire. So that's pretty cool. And they will also have the opportunity to take part in sectionals led by top performers on their instruments, and the ensembles themselves will be conducted by nationally known conductors. The whole band will be competing in Micah April 6th, and the entire chorus will be competing on the 7th. And finally, the jazz band will be competing in the MAJE Jazz Festival March 6th. So that's pretty good in the Performing Arts Department. Sports update. Dan Maloney was the District D champ in the 1,000, while teammate Will Shook was 3rd in the 2-mile. Did we get that right? Did we get it right?
Got it, nailed it.
Okay. And David Preston, 4th in the 600. The 4x800 team of Katie Cadigan, Marion Hanley, Mackenzie Marshall, and Anna Norton finished 3rd, while the boys 4x100 team of Eric Ravel, Nicholas Sandry, Liam Gleason, and Caleb Kaluka finished 5th. 14 Panthers qualified for Wednesday state meet at the Reggie Lewis Center in Cardiff.
And so results were in that Dana was 6th, Davis was 8th in their races. Those are some of their other races.
Yeah, can we fix David to Davis, Preston? Davis.
The girls' basketball has qualified for the Central Mass Division 3 playoffs. We got a little glimpse of them tonight. And they can still earn a share of the league title with wins over Narragansett tonight and Murdoch Friday. The girls also host Clinton on Thursday, and next week they'll face the Blackstone Valley Tech in the Togo Palazzi Memorial Tournament at Maynard. So tomorrow night the girls will be presented with the MIA Awards for
It is tomorrow.
for their community service. It's tomorrow night. It all got chopped up, and then senior night is Friday night, so fortunately, we all thought we would be able to see it last night.
Friday night's game is the inauguration of the pep band.
Oh.
So after it's able to,
What time is it?
pep band, some kids from the marching band, some other
Yeah.
kids want to keep you together to learn things like the ESPN theme song and other type stuff that they play will be much louder in the gym and much warmer than it was at Thanksgiving Day. Should be good.
CJ Holmes is near the top of the Mid-Watch East scoring list. He's been an outstanding, this is boys basketball, he's been an outstanding leader for the boys basketball team this winter. Coaches Eric Coley, Jim Lamb, and Matt Brewer have worked hard to get the team moving in the right direction. Co-op swimming did extremely well at the Central West sectionals on Sunday. Maddie Drew qualified for states, and the girls' team placed 5th, while the boys placed 14th in a field of 28. Drew and her teammates will compete at the state meet at Boston University on Saturday. Girls ice hockey continues to show signs of improvement, and Caitlin Bremer and Anna Simmons have been a huge part of that improvement. Keep it up. The girls face Shrewsbury tonight in Fitchburg, host Franklin on Saturday, and close out the season against Oakmont at Holy Cross on Sunday. And boys hockey is already qualified for postseason play and will wrap up its season with games Wednesday at Assabet and Monday at Northbridge at Dusk and Marlboro. And that's Pittsburgh, Kendall.
Thank you for all those wonderful updates. Congratulations to all our athletes. Yes, Ms. Rishus.
Maybe we could ask Mr. Bresnahan how the parent night went for the 8th graders.
Very good. The students
Yeah, comments
led
or
us around were great.
parents were happy,
Yeah,
stuff you had seen before, but
yeah. I did skip out on the video so I can I'm joining you. So I didn't see it.
Thank you. For the feedback.
thanks for coming.
All right, Dr. Malone, you are just on a roll here, so
On a roll.
why interrupt
Certainly.
budget discussion?
Mr. Plunkett prepared a memo for you that was in your packets, and he can talk about that. He wanted to share with you the revolving and reserve fund balances update. Mr. Plunkett.
Mr. Chairman, we have a memo in your packet, with a table embedded in the memo showing our revolving funds as of July 1, 2018. The policy or how we handle those funds, all of the revolving funds carry forward to the next fiscal year. There's no caps on the revolving funds. Circuit breaker, I am still waiting to hear back from the Department of Ed and Department of Revenue any restrictions they have for circuit breaker carrying forward. So I'll have an update for you on that when I hear back. And so there's no caps, carries forward to the next year. And then the reserve funds are listed separately on the table. That's our district capital stabilization and reserve, sped reserve fund. Those both are capped. The stabilization for capital is capped at 5% of net school spending, which is about 28 million. So we have plenty of room under that caps remaining. And then the sped reserve fund is a little more stringent. It's 2% of the assessments to the towns, which is 18 million. And so we have $60,000 left under that cap as well. As you know, we have budgeted choice and circuit breaker in the FY19 budget. We have 827,000 budgeted we're going to spend out of choice, and 880,000 that we're going to spend out of circuit breaker. So we are spending those down. For building rental, one of the other funds that's listed here, we are supporting the video production instructor salary, and the non-resident tuition is supporting that. And then building rental, we purchased the LAW library, the furniture for the library. And also, as Dr. Malone spoke about earlier, expanding the early learning center. We have another 0.5 FTE that we are budgeting for FY20. So we are going to be spending those balances down as we can. We like to keep about a year's worth of expenses in those balances for emergencies. Otherwise, we want to spend it down to keep it right about at a reasonable level.
And we have quite a few teachers being paid out of school choice.
Out of choice,
Yeah.
correct.
So how many, approximately?
Well, 827,000 we have budgeted. I want to say there's probably 20 teachers. Anyways,
So that's quite good. And, you know, I should be mentioning that when we do the budget presentations, so the towns will know that,
Yeah.
20 teachers not in the operating budget, they're in this, thought of that afterwards, yeah.
So if I can just ask a silly question on like school choice, right? So we budgeted, the balance was 1.2 million on July 1st, 2018.
mhm.
Next year, on June 30th, 2019, the balance should be $400,000, right? Because we'll spend down the 800 and then it'll eventually get replenished.
Well, it probably should stay right about where it is. If we're budgeting, if our revenues come in to match,
I
it
see.
would be right about where we are. We do want to spend it down a little bit and have about a one-year balance.
Okay.
So we're running about $850,000 of choice. So we want to make sure we keep about that much in there.
I see.
Refresh me, so we don't know those choice numbers until what, the October 20th official count thing?
October 1 data
October 1.
is the first
Is the
glimpse.
first one, but you
Yeah,
don't
so
know what
that,
number is.
we had October 1, 2018 that we're using
Right.
for preliminary 20 numbers.
Mhm.
So it is quite a lag.
Right.
And the building rentals, Mr. Plunkett, he manages a lot of the building rentals, and we've had those agreements with movie companies, which have brought us some good revenue, and they also made a donation to the field plan. And then the non-resident tuition, some of that money that's gotten built up is from the students that we get from the Cambridge Network. So we bring in those tuitions. We still, I think, we have 2 students attending the high school now. And so that tuition is like $11,500 when they attend our school. So some of
Are they
those.
still from China, these two?
Yes,
Oh.
yes. So, I guess I would say, so as a school districts do not generate revenue, but I've said several times that several presentations that we do our best to try to generate funds, and so we have, so when the high school needs to do something, or, anything special coming up, we can support it.
Good report, Rick.
Thank you. So this sort of ties into, so you also have in your packet the budget, House 1 budget. This is the same we presented last week, correct?
Yeah. So I guess I had given the school committee a memo when we sent you the budget, which I think is a really good model to give it to you way ahead of time. And we'll continue with that. I think the committee preferred that.
It was nice to be able to sit down.
Yeah, because when you're being presented in the first glimpse, it's hard to digest a lot of information. So I think that was a good model. And so I just wanted to continue with the discussion. Would the committee want to increase any funds in the capital stabilization fund? We still don't have E&D certified yet. Mr. Plunkett was going to email our representative at DOR today, and he may not have heard back from her. So I didn't, our questions would be if you wanted to fund the capital stabilization, increase it. The committee may want to consider the Page Hilltop boiler, since it doesn't qualify for the, accelerated repair plan. And we do have to be mindful of E&D, of the whole mediation and mitigation around the Page Hilltop oil spill. I did get an update from Attorney Bresnahan. We were waiting for a report from an expert that he advised us to bring in, and that report he has. And Mr. Plunkett and I had a conference call with him, so he's calling through that first before he forwards it to us, and then we'll start to enter into, engage in a mediation on that. So, and then of course, depending on where we go with the fields, we need to, we don't move forward, we have things on the table that we have to do on the field. So those would be things I would just ask the committee consider looking ahead and budgeting.
Yes, Joyce.
I guess this question is for Bill. So what percent of, how much is there a cap on what we can increase the stabilization amount by? Number one.
Yes, it's in the bottom of the table.
That's remaining, but
The
how much
remaining-
can we add in? Oh, there's the cap, so we've got,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Cap is 1.2, so we have about 916,000 remaining.
That we could add in.
Yeah, we could add it.
Yes.
And just as a caveat for the committee, so if the committee decided to contribute to those funds, because it's coming out of E&D, when we put into the budget and we bring the budgets to the town to approve, that satisfies the requirement for approval of the transfer out of E&D to the budget.
I'm not sure what I'll do with Cap Steve now. It's a big margins, we'll have to talk about some of the other projects that might be ongoing, but as a matter of policy, I think we should max out the sped reserve fund. That should be something we do annually, because that's the biggest risk you face, you don't know. It's a giant wild card, so we should just look to keep that at the
Sorry,
max. if
what did you say,
possible.
Jim? I think, hear you, this is, max out what?
The Special Ed Reserve Fund,
Yeah.
we're only 60,000 away.
Mhm.
We're at 300, and I think we should, as a matter of policy, we should keep that at the top end. That's our biggest exposure is there.
Ms. Joyce, question?
Well, the other thing, do we have to think about what we're putting into the retirement? So that we have to keep funding to show that in good faith. Last year, we put, what, in that?
30 total, 30,000.
30,000, we put 30,000 total, we did 10 and 20, was that it? So shouldn't that be on here someplace, for the not to really continue doing that?
We did
In the
discuss it.
operating, yeah, but in the operating budget, you already have what, 10?
10,000 in
Oh,
the
we did too,
operating.
yeah.
Yeah, there is, yeah, and I think the committee said to, yeah.
Correct. It was good. So 10,000 was going to be the, until further notice,
Okay.
10,000 was going to be the standard, the standard operating procedure donation to the fund.
So it may make the committee more comfortable if we've got this one recommendation for the sped, that the next time we meet, we should have our E&D certified, and then you'd have that final number, and then you'd be better informed to make the decision on the rest. Does that make sense?
That's good, and thank you again for this. This makes it really easy to look back
No,
and
this
go,
is
okay, how
very-
much can we put in and how much can we?
Yeah, no, this is very good, Bill, thank you.
So thank you very much for that. Any other questions or concerns about the budget since we've last met? None. Okay, so I do have one thing, and it's not so much what's in the budget, it's dates of improving the budget. So right now, we are scheduled to have meetings March 5th, which is our public hearing for the budget. And then on or before March 13th, we do need to certify the budget. So currently, Dr. Malone informed me tonight that there are two district events, the 13th and the 12th, District Art Night. And
Yeah, the district arts night is on the 13th here at the high school, and then the 12th is the high school concert.
So our next meeting is March 20th, which is 2 days too late, if I
Which
just heard
is
you right?
a 7 days today.
Or 7 days too late.
So I was looking, so there's some options we could do here. We could, if there is no public input and we are good on the 5th, we could certify that night, if we so chose. We could also do a one-item agenda for that Friday, the 8th, perhaps in the morning, or a somewhat convenient time, just to certify the budget if there are still no more changes. We could also do the 11th, I suppose, at night, or sometime it's not too late, but not inconvenient for people. So just looking for some ideas on when we might want to.
When do we have negotiations?
The 11th.
The 11th?
Yeah.
So if we have negotiations on the 11th, we can do it before negotiations. Or after. Sorry, we
Yeah,
can do it after negotiations on the 11th.
Yeah.
We have the 4th and the 11th.
Oh, wait, yeah, the 4th.
Right, so if we have the
No, we
11th.
did,
Fourth and
we
the
got
11th.
rid of,
Did we get rid of the 4th?
We changed the
we
25th,
changed
The
it.
25th.
To the 4th.
and then we went 4th and 11th. Then
Right,
we
so on the
still have
11th.
two before.
On the 11th, so after the, which ends at 7, on the dot, not early, we can have a school committee meeting and have the other members for a quorum.
Yeah. Then we'd have a meeting on the 5th for the public hearing, and the second meeting would be on the 11th.
On
Okay.
the 5th, I would put as an item there, vote, because I think the presentations for both towns went very well, and I think they were both very well received, and I think we're close enough, and unless something jumps out of the chairs on the 5th, that I think we're pretty much where we're going to have to be. Maybe we would make some minor changes that night, maybe we wouldn't, but I think we're in a good place to start. So I listed there, so if things break our way, on the 5th, we have a chance to certify the budget.
Yeah, we did discuss that, remember, because, you know,
Right, if
depending,
there's no changes, no major
Public hearing.
changes before the public
Right.
hearing, or no input from the public that might influence
Original
change.
votes, right.
So why don't we say vote on, but then leave the 11th as a stated meeting, so if we need it, it's there.
okay, that's a good idea.
You can always,
Pray for no snow.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if I jinxed it, just saying that.
All right, so we're gonna go with March 5th and March 11th.
Yes, and then March 20th will be back in Shirley, normal business.
this happens to be out here already on the 11th.
Which will be 20 meeting in June.
So March 15th, we don't.
Correct, unless it's snowing. So March 5th is going to be a standard business meeting plus the public hearing for the budget.
Yeah.
March 11th is a maybe, depending on March 5th.
After, yeah.
And then March 20th is a standard meeting.
And we post the 11th for 7 o'clock.
Yes, please.
March 20th is in Shirley?
Shirley at 6:30.
Oh, wait a minute, March 20th?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's the third Wednesday.
But it's not on our thing down here,
Yeah, it's
right?
not.
Okay.
Right, the 13th is
No,
not.
because we weren't gonna do it because we were being the 5th and the
13th
13th, I think.
Right.
Right, 13th is up.
But now we are doing the 20th.
Yeah,
Right.
June.
Because otherwise, yeah, we'd have one meeting in March.
Yeah, the 11th might disappear.
Right, exactly. That was my concern. March, the way March falls, it works out to be a long month, so the 20, I believe the 20th is actually the
Yes.
third Wednesday of the month. All right, so that's good. Very good. Thank you all for your cooperation on that. Dr. Malone, back to you for naming new facilities.
So I was recontacted by Mr. Frost, wondering where we stood on naming the library, and I had said, well, we had to table because we had to look at the policy. So I thought I would bring it back to the committee. You have in your packets the current naming policy that we have.
I think that's not the current one. I think we just redid this like 2 months ago.
Hmm?
Yeah, we just,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did.
yeah, this is the old one.
Did we ever finally vote on that?
Okay, I think so.
We did?
I believe we did here, yes.
Yeah.
That's the one where it was like the person.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we fixed that.
Yeah.
They would be alive, dead or alive.
So did the committee wish to look at it again for this renaming of the library, this request, or?
I think we worked on the naming thing, and I think to avoid, hysteria and someone who just died through some terrible, wonderful thing, I think this is proper that there is a cooling off period for it, and it certainly could be a nomination that wouldn't be effective for this nomination because it doesn't have a time frame.
I think our last discussion was that we were okay with all the changes we made to the naming policy. It gives us more flexibility to do what we want, but we don't know what we want. We don't have a protocol for how this actually happens.
Right.
So right now you just have a request, you're like, all right, that's one person's request. The reviewer is do we go to outreach to some, we really have no way of.
We don't have the procedure.
So step one, we have a request, so now how do you proceed?
Exactly.
Right.
And we don't know.
Right,
So
okay.
that's what we have to cover. We have to figure out how we're going to handle this now that we've.
I think we have to work on a procedure.
Exactly what
All
we're
right.
going to do.
So, thank you for the reminder, so then maybe we can go and look at other districts to see what they have procedures, so I can bring you some models.
Yeah,
I think
That
it's
help?
going to be,
Yeah.
fairly simple.
to see what they've done.
If someone, I think you have to put out that, I don't know, the field's going to be named, but, I don't think we're going to have, we could rename the high school. Kind of fun, stir up some controversy.
Yeah, I think that they might put out there, they might ask if there's anybody else has any other suggestions for needing that particular library, and then if you get them, what do you do?
That's right,
I think you have to publicize it and post
Yeah,
it
so,
somehow, and take a time frame that within 2 months, because this doesn't have to be named today, so some type of enlisting, even from the students. You know.
All right, so that's good to
My
remind us
grandmother-
where we stood. All right, so we'll bring it back at some point. We'll get through the budget, and then we'll bring it back. Okay.
Good.
And if I can make a correction on the facilities, we need to spell adopted right by ASRD, January 18th, 2017. But there was a different one, Jim? I got lost.
We have a new one, right.
2018. 2018, 2018.
All right.
Okay. Next thing, Dr. Maloney, this is your last one for the night. We have a couple different proposals from Flansburgh and FMMA to discuss.
So the committee requested that I solicit SMMA and ask them to do the same that we did for Flansburgh, and you have that proposal in your packet. I put both of them back in there. The SMMA proposal is significantly more money.
There's in different depths of, there's different scope of
Yeah.
services too.
Yeah, so they do some drawings, but grading and drainage plans.
Yeah, this is they're quoting a build plan.
Yeah, I mean,
That's not-
I told him we just wanted,
That's just not, I think there's some confusion about what we were looking for.
Yeah, the scope, they went way beyond what
Yeah, it's-
Flansburgh did.
well, I was clear that we really wanted actual cost, but, actually, I'm gonna go back to my email. Excuse me 1 second, please. I had asked, if we would have the proposal, and you said, being mindful of your costs, we are proposing to advance drawings to a point where we can develop a more focused cost estimate for your purposes of presenting this, and not advance the drawings to a full schematic drawing set. If the project proceeds, all these drawings will be the basis for the advancement and completion of construction documents for bidding purposes. And I apologize for not including that into, so I guess if the committee decided to go with estimate, part of this cost would be part of a cost going towards the project already. Right? It said, if the project proceeds, all of these drawings will be the basis for the advancement and completion of construction documents for bidding purposes.
So they're taking you all the way to where you can just go right out to bid. You don't have to, right?
I wouldn't say all the way, they're
No.
getting you there,
They're
but they're
getting
not,
you there,
they're
right,
not,
They're going further down the road.
they're going a little bit further down the road than Flansburgh would be.
And the conversations, the conversations that you had with Flansburgh, what is their understanding that we're looking for? What would we be providing them and what would they be providing us?
Right, so the Flansburgh proposal, let me just get it. I had the same request by both. Could you cost out this plan? If we were to build it, what would it actually cost us? Because we had a plan that had a magnitude of cost, right, that said, this is the most that it will cost you. We have this 500 and something contingency. Everything was at the highest cost for what we wanted in the plan. So I said, if we were to go out, what would it actually cost us? Not a magnitude, but really close to the actual cost. Because I think it would be lower than the magnitude. And, I think getting those costs, you could then say, well, that we priced out, the original plan had 500 bleachers, maybe we want to go to the 400 or the 350, which brings down that cost, which brings down the cost of the concession stand and the restrooms that were going in there as well. As you know, we have worked, Mr. Plunkett and Mr. Briggs and myself, working on trying to identify, what would we have to do without, the whole project, resurfacing the track. The quote was $326, and that was back in last August. AD recommends we do the entire track, 8 lanes, move the jumping pits, that's about $13,000. And the reason why we want to move, they're too close to the sidelines, safety issues, football, soccer, and so on. Rebuild the sewer drains, $5,000. He's still waiting for a cost to resod and widen the football field. We have to inlay the soccer field inside the football field. We're looking for those costs. Extending the baseball field, soccer field off the infield, we have a price of $134,000. It involves filling the retaining wall, putting a fencing system around. There's a $3,000 quote like 3 years ago. Dugouts for baseball and softball. Install a sink drain and concession stand. That word got by me. I don't know how we run a concession stand without running water.
You just build it.
Collect the
Put a
rate.
grill in back and you drop it running.
Yeah, there's health issues there. So,
Right.
and then bubblers, ADA bubblers, removing the ledge and the rock on the fields. Some of these, Mr. Briggs was just projecting, regrade, restore, and resod the lower football field, and you have to regrade because that's not ADA compliant. We have to do some work on the irrigation system, as you know, it's required by the town of Bear. And that comes to about $500,000, and then talking about building new ADA bleachers, outdoor restrooms. Even if we just did the bleachers, which we have to do, the press box needs to be ADA compliant. I mean, we're up to 1.8, even out the restrooms are 1 million. So, and we know the lighting doesn't work. I know that, Mr. Clinton, we had a really hard time getting bulbs for those lights because they're so old.
The scoreboard?
Yeah.
Something scoreboard.
Yeah, and then the lights themselves, they broke, and I know Flag Tree donated the services with the bucket truck and everything, but it's really tricky out there.
But now you know where to get them.
Yeah.
Hopefully we won't.
The new old stock.
Yeah, we bought up the rest of it.
Yeah.
And, March is right around the corner.
Right.
March is right around the corner, and we're gonna have to,
So there's certainly not apples here, right?
We'll have to decide as a committee how we want to go forward with getting the costs, right? We need to decide if we want to have Floyd to it, get us closer. The best that may do it, get us a lot closer, but also a lot more expensive, or we can go on our own and find money elsewhere to get quotes and start doing a piecemeal that may or
We
may
certainly
not
have
fit
to do
into
the
the
track, and
budget.
there's no sense in touching the track unless you expand the field, right?
I'd say we go with that.
I'm not certainly in the construction business, and you have people here that have more experience, but I do know one thing, when you start a renovation, one thing leads to the next. It's never the face value when you're trying to do a major resurface of track. Oh, we didn't realize there's no foundation here, and I don't know all that stuff, but I do know from my life's experience that taking on something like this, trying to piecemeal it and fix things, ends up being more costly,
Right.
more timely.
You can't do it.
It just
You
doesn't.
can't do
afford to
It's-
do it
it's-
wrong.
It's too big,
Right.
and you only have one shot. You
Right.
don't have the expertise in-house to do it.
Right.
It's no way to do it.
It's not gonna,
It can't be
it's not
done.
gonna work, so.
I think we should, apparently, people want another set of eyes and more numbers, right? So I think we should take a look at Flansburgh's. I thought they were very thorough on what they did with the elementary schools. I think the SMA, I'm sure they do a fine job. It just brings us,
Much closer.
gives us a lot more information that we might need, we might not need. Gives us a lot of stuff that we might have to change. So I think that's taking too big of a bite. And I think if we go to a Flansburgh, it also puts a completely different set of eyes on it. And they may have a couple of ideas too. So I think that we should probably just engage Flansburgh rangers.
Any other discussion? We need to take a vote, so if someone wants to make a motion, we can proceed from there. Did you want to say something? You sound like you were ready to.
I felt that, I disagree with Jim, these, the Flansburgh was very thorough. I thought the Flansburgh was very cookie cutter and didn't really consider anything that was advanced or innovative. I thought they had pulled it out of their file and charged us for it. So I thought the report, the only thing that was good report was when he said the schools are safe on line 1. And after that, I don't think they have good explanations of why they had chosen the designs they chose. And I don't think they would fit with a lot of the stuff we're doing. So I wasn't very happy with them.
I mean, those designs those designs were to show what for our student enrollments and our projected enrollments, what a building could look like. That's just what they designed for minimum specs and maximum reimbursement of an unknown amount. So that's why there was nothing fancy. There was no taking into account any local, for lack of a better term, local amendments to that, right? It was just,
Right.
You have 500 kids that you anticipate no more than 500 kids going through the school in the next 10 to 15 years. This is what a building that we're designing for 21st century design that maximizes MSBA reimbursement looks like.
And MSBA requirements, right?
MSBA
Remember,
requirements.
The size of the classrooms and,
Correct.
Well, I remember,
you know, like at Laura White, our kindergarten classrooms are way under what they should be.
but there was a lot of this space that we didn't even.
But the
just-
plans-
Just a different thing.
That really wasn't the point of my understanding. That wasn't the point of that study. The point of the study was to examine our existing buildings to see what condition they were in, what
And then-
needed to be
and
done.
then
And
you
I
say
don't think
that was the.
to hold it against them because we didn't get plans that we liked for future buildings. That wasn't what the charge was.
And
They
I
were just
think, you
trying
know,
to-
Joyce, that they're a pretty large firm in Boston, and for them to put the safety stamp on the buildings is because we could say
Right.
they are serviceable, and the MSBA told us that, right, and they did their thing, but, you know, these companies, they're putting their reputation, their seal, their work to tell us, you know what, yes, you can go on with your buildings. They're not 21st century, and a lot of your infrastructure is outdated. And if you were to embark on new buildings, we talked about possible renovation or new elementary school. This is like a plan, a blueprint of what's being required by MSBA. How do you maximize getting reimbursement from them? This is what you're looking at.
And we also had to know, is there a missile headed your way film on 11? I mean, nobody had done an engineering evaluation of either one of those buildings in the history of the buildings. Going back to, I mean, the old Laura White building, the old part of it is 1934. You know, brick stands a really long time, but you have a lot of mechanical service, electrical, information services, all those things somebody had to look at that, and they were the only firm that did it. And I personally felt that took a long time to meter through some of the data, but when I took a look at that, I thought we got a steal and a half. I could not believe that we got that depth for that money.
And they had how many people out here? They sent out a lot. They had a lot of people out here going through all the buildings. It wasn't just 2 people. I mean, George Cruz himself didn't do it. He supervised it. He had all these different contractors come.
Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
I'm assuming that going ahead with Flansburgh doesn't put us behind at all because we wouldn't have these drawings that SMMA would do because we went to a vote with what we had prior. So I'm assuming we'd be okay and not be...
Well, if the committee approves this tonight, we'll be on the phone with, the Flansburgh tomorrow and to get the work started, so we can get the prices back, bring it back to the committee, and obviously I think we'd probably invite Mr. Cruz to come back to present and explain the findings and the costs, and then go to the next step.
So we are pushing, I mean, we knew we were going to be close on 2019 anyways. We're pushing towards the end of 2019.
So we're not, okay, do you get what my question is though? Like, we're not,
We'll be a little bit behind, but
We will be. But so Dr. Malone actually shared with me a couple weeks ago, Haverhill's doing a smaller scale renovation project. They were working through January, and they were filming it in January with the construction going on in the back. So if we luck out, you know, these people, even with the snow today, they could probably still be working tomorrow, I would gather, and the construction slowly. But we've had a somewhat mild winter that's been conducive, so if we could luck out with that, we might be able to get somebody to start working through.
Right.
It's just really what it is. So we're certainly behind, but some things better than nothing.
we're going to try and move forward, so.
no, I guess I'm just wondering if, you know, well, I think we need information.
Right.
So,
So yeah, are you thinking that if we went with the SMA plan would be more advanced into the project should the costs come back and we?
yeah, I'm wondering if we're spending money.
Bless you.
Oh, Lord. You know, that maybe we're going to have to spend an SMMA anyway, but I guess we wouldn't get to that step unless we had an approved project anyway.
Right.
Okay. All right.
And do we have to go out for a bid if it's at a higher number? Isn't that over the 30,000,
Well,
number 30?
SMMA has some language in their quote that it's basically an extension or of their previous agreement.
Oh, okay, so it's,
It would be over the 30,000 cap,
Right.
but it would still only require the bid process, 3 quotes. You wouldn't have to go out to a formal bid. Only if it's over 30,000 for design and 300,000 for construction.
okay,
Right now, we don't know what components or the total is
how that
going to
would break out.
Motion, anyone?
I'll make a motion that we approve moving forward with the Flansburgh proposal that was dated January 8th, 2019. That's in our packet.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Thank you, Dr. Malone, for getting the quotes back to us. Looking to us. All right, all those in favor of the Flansburgh proposal, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
All right, that's 4-1, the motion passes.
I take Jim's position tonight.
You were, Chair, you were a yes. Okay. All right, so athletic field project update, I don't have anything per se. I did see that the football schedule got released yesterday for Central Mass, so we return to we're visitors for Thanksgiving next year. Sometime in September, my house will be a house divided when we play Monty Tech, so since my wife is a Monty Tech alum. So, anyhow.
I would like to, if I had, just have one other thing I want to bring forward on the fields is that, I mean, I think it's fair to say I was the voice of no on the last project. And Jonathan was on the committee from the get-go as most school. So one thing that we have in common all the way across says that our current state of affairs is totally inadequate for the mission we have to do. You know? So what I'd like to do, I'd like to get the numbers back quicker, but ahead of that, I thought we kind of need some sort of mediation, right? And maybe we can come to a common ground that's obviously not binding. And I thought in the middle, I'd like to have a woman, which the Fields Committee didn't have, and an attorney. I only know one person that meets that on our committee at this point, meets that requirement. So I'm going to ask Michelle and John to meet a couple times just to talk over how we got to where we were, some other components, and work out where our common ground is. So when we get numbers back, we'll be in a better position. We're only 3 people, so we don't have to post anything. Our decisions have no bearing, but I just think it puts it further down the road, because when I take a look at where we are as a district here, and more importantly, where the capital project is for the fields, time is not your friend. I'm just thinking from a purely political standpoint. People are expecting something to happen, and I think the most logical thing to expect to happen is that when two sides agree that something needs to be done, that the two sides sit down and talk about it. I think it's only reasonable, and so I'm going to put that forward, and we'll see how it goes. We're not going to have a schedule to anything. We're not going to make any lasting decisions, but I think it will advance our case, because once we get the numbers back, if we take a look at the numbers and come up with something that we think it works, if Jonathan is okay with it, and Michelle is okay with it, and I'm okay with it, I gotta believe we'll get a fourth. We would just be further down the road. It's just an idea I have.
Something to consider. I'm leaning towards yes, but we'll think about that and discuss with Michelle. And if that's okay with you, we'll get back to it.
And it's good.
Thank you. All right, Jim, since you're chatting, any policy subcommittee items tonight you want to talk about?
No, the next time though, I'm going to bring up bullying. We're at a lot of stuff has happened in the last month on bullying and student contact. They have the 10-year anniversary of that Irish exchange student that killed herself. They have the other woman who talked her boyfriend into committing suicide. And the governor just put a bill in front of the House to address more of this. So it's going to arrive on our plate. So if you get a chance to get into the policy meeting and pull up bullying, we'll go for a first read maybe in the next month or so.
I was going to say too, and I can bring the bullying policy that we do have, that
Right.
we're required to have
Yeah.
it about. So we'll look at
Yeah.
the policy in the manual and then the actual bullying policy.
Right.
Just as something, and you just reminded me of it, policy BEDH, we need to look at that.
Okay.
Again, there was just a, Dr. Will help me out here, state Supreme Court ruling on that one? So it deals with public participation at meetings. So I believe, I don't know if MASC will have a legal update on that one or not, but we may need to just amend that to fall under not violation of
Right,
the law.
public participation, yeah,
So,
can't suppress.
right, can't suppress it.
All right. Okay.
So if that's something that I don't know if, something to me, that seems to me like something MASC would be like, hey, there's your policy and this is how you need to change it.
Right.
But I think it was 2 weeks ago this happened or
Yeah.
something, so.
Okay.
Have it out.
All right.
And usually, MASS, their attorney, and that's, he will come out with an advisory too.
Yeah.
And sometimes our attorney's firm will too, so I'll get those two.
All right, I don't have any chairman's notes tonight, but Joyce had something she wanted to share. So I will turn it to Joyce.
So because I was gone, I got this in the mail today, so it's within 48 hours of the meeting. But, and then the article that I included, that I gave everybody, so on the Mass Legislative Bulletin, they talked about the new plan for charter school reimbursement. And the H1 is going to revamp the charter school reimbursements to a 3-year schedule with 100% tuition reimbursements to the district's first year, 60% the second, and 40% the third, which changes it over to 100% and then 25 for 5 years. Well, 25 for 5 years, sometimes those kids will have graduated or something and have left the charter school, so that kind of pushes it up and makes you spend money earlier. It also, the administration's plan increases the facility stipend from charter schools to $893 per student to 893, numbers reversed, 893 to 938, and then indexes for inflation going forward. And of course, any more money that they send to the charter schools, we're not getting to public schools, just public schools in general. And in the Boston Globe on January 27th, 3 days after, and I gave you that article so you can read it. Boston's economy is booming, but schools see cash poor. Why? And if you read in this, basically it's the charter schools that are pulling money. There was other things too, like lead pipes in those schools, but if the charter schools are pulling money, it's hard to do that. Following up on that, the other big thing was Los Angeles, which is suffering tremendously in the public school area because of charter schools. So I think this all comes to all the pressures that we have and where money's coming from. And to me, if we don't have public education, we don't have our society. So I think, and Jonathan just told me that today, they decided not to approve any more charter schools.
Yeah, it was actually yesterday, but yes.
The Board of Ed meeting?
The Board of Ed,
Yeah.
what, 2 withdrew or didn't meet the criteria, and then the third one wasn't approved. So.
Yeah, one was in Haverhill, actually, and the Commissioner Riley recommended, he didn't feel that they had a well-developed plan, so it's pretty good.
Many of these are for-profit schools, they're not.
Right. And of course, the HEA, Haverhill Education Association, they came out strongly against it, but the new commissioner, he went down to Fall River, and he actually brokered an agreement down there in the charter schools where it would draw from the neighborhood of where it's at, that are around, and so he did some really innovative, so it's in a preliminary stages of approval, but he's certainly working on behalf, so.
I just thought it was something we should kind of keep our eye on and remember that whenever it comes up, many of these are for-profit. Some of them have failed, to get the kids into them, and then they fail, and they don't have the oversight. So I think this is very important. But I really feel, I was telling Jonathan the first time they brought up the charter school, someone had a cartoon at the conference that showed public schools and that showed charter schools taking the bricks out of the schools. So that was like the first year we talked about charter schools. So, but we've seen it. So anyway, that came in from mask. Thank you.
Very good. Then you're not off the hook yet. You got announcements to do.
Updated? Michelle, is the updated?
I'm sorry, I got New Bedford that did the
That's
job.
updated.
That's what I wanted to
Say
say.
updated, right?
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Okay, good. Well, this is Wednesday, February 13th, and we've had a report from the 8th grade parents that the visit was good. Right? Monday through Friday, February 11th to 15th is vacation, and all you people are going wonderful places. But it's also the open registration for kindergarten and preschool children from 9 to 2 at Page Hilltop, and Lori White extended hours till 6 on Wednesday, February 13th. Registrations will be accepted on a rolling basis until classes are full. Register early to ensure your spot. Monday, February, I'm 1 week behind on it. Monday, February 18th, no school President's Day, and Tuesday, February 19th through Friday, February 22nd, no school vacation. Everybody enjoy the warm weather. Tuesday, March 5th, Regional School Committee District and public hearing at 6:30. I'm assuming the public hearing starts at 6:30 and is continued to win. Public hearing time is
7.
Till 7, half an hour?
Yeah, 6:30 to 7.
6:30 to 7 is the public hearing.
Dr. Malone has that 30 minutes down.
You have
I do, yeah, that's me.
All right. Wednesday, March 6th, progress reports issued for grades 6 to 12. Wednesday, March 13th, half-day school for grades preschool through 12 and professional development for teachers. Wednesday, March 13th, the Arts Night here at the high school from 6 to 8. It is awesome. Please attend. Wednesday, March 13th is the school committee meeting. Do we want to say the
No, 20th.
Yeah, we're changing that to
March 20th, yeah.
to the 20th, but there is one on the 11th.
Maybe.
Theoretically. All right. The school committee meetings will be theoretically on the 11th if needed and on the 20th.
Check your town clerk website for details.
Can I just reverse those things? Okay.
You're good.
Arts Night, March 13th.
You're done.
Wednesday, I went back. Okay, took this out. That was the confusion. All right, sorry. Monday, March 25th, report cards issued for grades preschool to 5. Thursday, March 28th, half-day school for grades preschool to 5 and evening parent conferences. What time do the conferences start? 6?
Yeah, usually they're at 6 to 8.
6 to 8. Conferences 6 to 8. And Friday, March 29th, half-day school for grades preschool to 5 and afternoon parent conferences. So are those from 1 to 3?
Yeah, yes. The
And
school
then-
sent out the times and stuff, but it's
Right.
approximately that, yeah.
Just like to say it again. just
Yeah.
so it hears it. Fridays to Sunday, April 5th to 7th is Mary Poppins Junior. 7 o'clock Friday and Saturday, Sunday 2 o'clock at the high school auditorium, or middle school.
Middle
auditorium,
school
excuse me.
play, yeah.
So it's middle school play, April, say it again, April 5th to 7th, Mary Poppins Junior. I am going.
I just have a quick question for Dr. Malone. So when I came in tonight, I saw it looked like students taking families
Yeah.
around. The students who were taking folks on a tour, was that like an open, anybody could volunteer to do it, or was it the National Honor Society?
It was student council.
Student council?
Yeah, I think it was student council. And I think those are the same students that did the tours on yesterday.
For the 8th graders?
Monday.
I don't think it's the same crew, but.
No?
Because I didn't do, well, I didn't go today, but I
Maybe they picked, I don't really know how they selected the students.
Okay.
I just trust that they,
Just
yeah, but I can find out for you.
Very good. We do have the, oh, yes, sorry.
Could I just add one activity on Saturday, March 2nd? Air Shirley Regional High School is hosting the Region 3 Destination Imagination tournament. There'll be nearly 60 teams competing. I'm going to be an appraiser for the 3rd year for this activity, and I'm also going to be going to states at WPI later in March. So if anyone's interested in coming and watching some very creative skits and presentations, it's open to the public. And we'll be here all day on Saturday the 2nd.
What time does it start?
I think it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. My challenge has 17 challenges, so 17 challenges I'll be appraising.
Do we have to make sure they can hear you on that?
I'm sorry?
Does Air Shirley have a team?
Oh, Air Shirley has 4 teams.
4 teams.
Four teams.
All at the high school level, or?
No, there's 2 rising stars, which are, I think, kindergarten through 2nd grade. I think there's 2 elementary. It kind of dwindles off as it gets a little bit up in the upper ages, but we have 4 teams this year.
So that was March 2nd here at the high school?
March 2nd here at the high school. We'll be transforming it on the 1st, and I have football volunteers helping to transform the school.
And just a good opportunity for a pancake breakfast on March 2nd.
Yeah. The other thing is, I think that this is our 2nd year hosting a big tournament again. Last year was the first year we got away from it. And I would add, we put on there, March 2nd and March 3rd is the robotics, Andromeda 1 robotics competition.
This is focused on that.
Yeah, it's at Salem High School, Salem, New Hampshire High School. So anyone wants to join, come up in my backyard, I'll take you for a tour. Let you know ahead of time, and I don't know if I can start the grill, but we'll see.
I'm an expert.
Yeah, and we have to tour you around. It just, there was 2 articles, I put 2 good articles that focused our district, one on the girls' basketball team and one on the the local businesses supporting. And the other flyer is, Mr. Tully gave this to me the other day. Those of you that were able to go to the public forum down in Fitchburg, remember the MTA rep was hosting one in Leominster, so this is another one that Steve said he wasn't able to go to the one in Leominster, but this one's in Littleton, and so he's invited any of you to attend if you're around.
Oh, we can make that.
Okay?
Awesome, all right. So with that, we do have need for executive session tonight. So I will take a motion at 8:34 p.m. to enter into executive session for the sole purpose of... Yep.
Sorry,
Oh.
sorry.
Carry on.
Completely messed up my mojo. All right. I'll take a motion to enter regular session to exit and then exit a regular...
Exit executive session.
Exit executive session for the sole purpose of adjoining regular session.
Second.
Moved and seconded, roll call vote. Joyce
Joyce
Reschutz.
Reschutz, aye.
Jonathan DeForge, aye.
Charles, aye.
Jim Quinty, aye.
All right, thank you. We are in executive session.